Hey everybody, Mike Wardinski from naturemike.com here, and guess what? It is winter time, my favorite photography season of all. So I thought I'd make a quick video here to show you some tips and tricks for getting the most out of this winter season. The first part of this video is going to focus on the gear that you need to stay warm, dry, and comfortable, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to get good shots. And then the second portion of this video is going to focus on some camera settings and tips and tricks to keep your gear working properly in the cold. So let's dive in. The first thing I want to talk about is staying warm in winter. And the secret to staying warm is dressing in layers. And I'm going to go ahead and explain my layers to you right now. But before I do so, I do want to mention that I'm going to leave links to all the things that I talk about in the description of this video. So don't feel like you have to take notes. Just go ahead to the description and I'll put links right there. Full disclosure, they are affiliate links, but I wouldn't recommend anything that I don't use myself. Obviously, I'm wearing it now. So my outside shell is this jacket. It's the Stellar Equipment Down Guide Parka. It's absolutely fantastic. 900 fill power. It's very wind and water resistant. It's got great pocket storage, so you can stick your gloves in here, hand warmers, whatever you might need. And then underneath that, I wear another medium weight down jacket. You could also wear a synthetic jacket. And then underneath that, I wear just a regular t-shirt. And underneath that layer, finally, I wear a long sleeves, long john shirt. And then of course, long john underwear as well. To keep my legs warm and dry, I use North Face insulated snow pants. You definitely want to use insulated snow pants for photography, especially if you're not going to be moving around very much, because they're going to keep you warm. Underneath that, I just wear some regular pants. And then to protect my feet from getting wet, I use these Outdoor Research gaiters. They come in short sizes and long sizes. I recommend getting the longer size. That way, if you post hole into some snow, or especially if you post hole into snow and then into water, you're not gonna get soaking wet feet. And then for boots, I wear Sorel Caribou boots. They're fantastic. I've had them for years. They're waterproof. They keep my feet warm. They're not the best for hiking long distances, but they're really great for photography purposes, especially if you're only going short ways. Inside the boots, I have 2 pairs of extra thick winter socks that are wool. You want to make sure your socks are wool because they're going to be water wicking and they're going to help keep your feet warm even if they get a little wet. For the fingers, I used some lightweight gloves. Also really like these Black Diamond mittens. I tend to prefer mittens over gloves because your fingers stay together, and when your fingers are together, they tend to stay warmer. Now, you can't really shoot with these mittens on, but they're really good for extreme cold when you just need to get the tripod out and you need to maybe walk a couple hundred yards. This will help keep your hands warm, and when you're ready to shoot, you can take them off, shove them in your pocket, and then you can use these thin gloves to keep you somewhat warm. They don't stay really warm, but they definitely are better than having exposed skin to the elements. And in addition to the gloves, you can use these electric hand warmers, and these are super handy to keep your fingers nice and toasty when you feel those signs of frostbite starting to creep in. So you definitely want to keep some of these in your pockets at all times. I usually just leave them on, and I usually bring 2 pairs with me. That way when one dies, I can go ahead and start the other pair. When it's really cold, I use a balaclava, and I really like this one by Sirius because it has a magnetic face strap. So you can kind of open up your face when you're in a vehicle and it's kind of warm. And then when you go back outside, it just snaps back on and it covers your nose and keeps your face warm. When you're in 0 and negative temperatures, you want all the skin that you can cover covered. And then in extreme conditions, I will wear a bomber hat. These things are super comfortable, super warm. It's kind of hard to hear with them on. And did I mention super fashionable as well? Lastly, don't forget the sunglasses, because snow blindness is a thing. And you want to be able to see what you're doing because we are doing photography after all. Now that we've discussed the gear to keep you warm, let's talk about some of the camera gear that you're going to want for the winter time. No matter what you're shooting, you want to be prepared for adverse weather. So it's a good idea to have a lens coat rain jacket for your lens and camera. And these come in all different sizes, from really big ones like this one to smaller sizes for wide, medium, and shorter telephoto lenses as well. It's important to have a bag that opens from the back side, the side that's going to go against your back, rather than the front. Because when you put this bag down into the snow or a wet environment, you can open it up from the back here, access your camera, and then when you put this back onto your back, you're gonna have a dry back. So that's really important. Now let's talk about rain covers. It's absolutely essential to keep your camera gear dry. Now, many camera bags do come with rain covers, but they might be too small to fit a tripod as well. And I like to get a third-party backpacking rain cover. That way I have enough space in the rain cover to strap my tripod to the camera bag still, because I don't want to have to carry a big heavy tripod around in a wet environment. So I highly recommend investing in a rain cover. Another accessory you might consider for wintertime shooting is tripod leg protectors. Now, this tripod doesn't have any on it, but what they are is foam covers that Velcro onto the leg and protects the tripod, but even more importantly, protects your fingers, because these tripods get extremely cold when temperatures drop to 0 or sub-zero temperatures. And it's just a little bit easier to hold on to the tripod when you're moving from point A to point B. When shooting in the winter, it's really important to have plenty of spare batteries. The cold temperatures zap the battery really quick. So you want about 3 batteries per camera that you'll be using, and it's not a bad idea to store these close to your body so they stay warm and you get the most out of every single battery. One of my favorite camera accessories is this Black Rapid double harness. This is not really a wintertime only deal, but it is extremely useful for wildlife photographers that use 2 cameras at the same time. The harness can be outfitted with these quick disconnects, and so this allows me to take the camera off the tripod very quickly and then attach it to the strap. And then I can just let go and my camera dangles here, and then typically I would have another one on this side. That way I can shoot extremely telephoto, and then I can have a little less zoomed out telephoto, maybe like 100 to 400 or 100 to 500 on this side. And then I can just quickly choose which one I want to shoot with, and I'm ready to go just like that. Now you can see my tripod has sunken into the snow a considerable amount here. And if you don't want to deal with a sinking tripod, you can always get snowshoes for the tripod legs. It's about $50 to $60. And they're essentially these discs that go on the bottom of each leg and help it float on top of the snow instead of sinking into it. Now is a great time to mention that I offer high quality photography trips in Yellowstone every winter. I offer one trip out of West Yellowstone where we enter the park on a snow coach. It's sort of a big monster truck looking thing that goes over the snow. And we visit the Old Faithful Geyser Basin, as well as Hayden Valley, which is famous for wildlife. And the other trip is based out of Gardner, Montana, where we explore Lamar Valley, often dubbed as the Serengeti of North America. Now back to the video. Shooting in the winter is a lot like shooting in any other season, except for 2 things. 1, there's snow all around us, and 2, it's a lot colder than most other seasons. So let's address issue number 1, the snow. So your meter inside your camera is calibrated to neutral gray. And what happens when you take that camera to a very bright environment that has snow in it is the light meter gets confused. It actually underexposes the photos when it's set to 0 right in the center. And the reason is because snow is a lot brighter than 50% gray. So the way we compensate for this is overexposing the meter, not the photo, just the meter, by 1 to 2 stops. And you can either do this by using exposure compensation if you shoot in aperture priority or shutter priority, or if you shoot in manual, you can simply use shutter speed, aperture, or ISO to increase the brightness of the image and the meter. Your best friend in a winter environment is going to be the histogram. So it's really important to know how to access the histogram on your camera, and what it does is measures the amount of darks, midtones, and lightness within an image. Left side represents black, the middle represents gray, and the right side represents white. And the idea is you want to push this graph to the right without riding up the right-hand side in most cases. There may be times where you do want to overexpose the image, like if you're shooting into the sun, or if you don't care about overexposing some of the snow because you're trying to photograph an animal, that's okay. But the idea is push that to the right without riding up as much as possible. You never want to see your histogram halfway down. That means you're really underexposed, or even worse, 3/4 of the way down on the left-hand side. So bring that up to the right, and that's going to help ensure your photos are properly exposed and not dingy and gray. Now let's talk about issue number 2, the cold. Your camera is only designed to operate in temperatures as cold as freezing. Anything colder than that, the camera manufacturer is going to say, hey, we're not covering this, even if it's under warranty, because you used it in conditions that we said it was not built for. Now, the good news is I shoot every single winter, and I've shot in extremely cold conditions that are sub-zero, and I've never had a camera die on me. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks in order to keep your camera gear functioning as good as possible in winter conditions. There's nothing wrong with taking a warm camera and using it in a cold environment. But what you don't want to do is take a camera that's been out in the winter conditions all day long into a warm environment. So what you want to do is take the camera and any lenses that have been outside or in the camera bag outside. Make sure that camera bag's zipped up, make sure your lens cases are zipped up, and then take those into your house or hotel room and let the camera and lenses gradually warm up. Otherwise, you're going to deal with condensation that can form actually within the lens itself and within the camera and potentially cost you thousands of dollars. If you're on a photography trip where you're going to be shooting the next day, make sure you take the batteries out of each camera that you're using and put them in your pocket before putting the camera into the camera bag. That way you can start charging them right away as soon as you get into the hotel room or wherever you're staying. It's also a good idea to take the memory cards out if you want to upload them to the computer that night. The amount of time that it takes for your camera to warm up from the outside temperature to the inside temperature will depend on how cold it was outside and how warm it is inside. As a rule of thumb, it's a good idea to wait at least 2 to 3 hours minimum before you even attempt to open up your camera bag or any lens cases. One last thing that I want to mention is that you need to be careful in cold weather because plastic, metal, and carbon fiber are all more brittle and sensitive to cold weather. So it's much easier to break things in the cold than it is in normal operating conditions. So with that in mind, just be careful when you're loosening and tightening knobs, levers, and also be careful with your tripod legs. If they get wedged somewhere, they can snap much easier in the cold. And that's just about it. Enjoy your winter shooting. Hopefully I'll see you out in the field real soon. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.